Okay, artists meeting for Joker Zappie, aka Quinton. Unfortunately, he's not here to join us today, but I'm sure he'll hop on eventually. And if not, then I'll just update him with the video. No problem, no problem. So what we're gonna be going through today is actually something really important, dude. It's actually about arrangement, aka making sure you know how to finish your song, making sure you understand how to like branch things together, good ways to do that, and make sure you know just ways to help you finish your song. So that being said, I'm also going to connect this lesson with workflow practices. A lot of people have problems with workflow. Usually they start and they don't have like any inspiration, or like they just get lost very easily, or sometimes they just get distracted easily. We just want to figure out how to cancel out all these things, and I'm pretty sure all these are very possible to overcome. So, so let's just get started. And I'm going to go ahead and get started with the simple concept of arrangement. So, I see that there are a bunch of little slides here. That's okay. I'm going to find the one that I use a lot, and I use this one a lot. So, I'm going to go ahead and get my pen. I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to erase all these things. All right, so we're gonna leave this one here just for a second. That's we're gonna come back to that. So like, when writing out an arrangement, it's usually okay. So an arrangement is something that's usually overlooked when producers are making music, because there's just so much to handle when you're writing music. For example, and for instance, it's like, yo, I'm making a song, but I gotta write the composition, I gotta do the mixing, I gotta make the sounds, I gotta find the sounds that work the best. It's like so much that goes into it. I gotta figure out the rhythm I wanna do, the genre, all that stuff. It's a whole package. That's why like there's a team of people to make the music when you're in the pop industry, because they know it can be a lot. They know it can take time. They know that doing it by yourself is hard, but some people do it. Some people just learn how to do it by themselves. And like a lot of producers, they're just like, yeah, we just go in the studio, we make it ourselves, we just do it all. It's possible. It just takes a lot of time. It's hard work that you put into it. So an arrangement is something that's often overlooked because of that. Like, some people forget that the most important thing really is just to finish the idea. It's just to finish the song and to finish the idea, so that you can come back to it and understand that you have all these other concepts. Like, you don't want to, like, people commonly starting their song, they're like writing, they're like, oh, this is good, but then you leave the studio, or you leave your session, and you only have like just like one melody down. Now I know, like, you could always come back the next day, but sometimes you don't come back the next day, or sometimes you just lose that drive and motivation. So let's just go ahead and analyze what goes down when doing arrangement, when having an arrangement, a musical arrangement. Now I'm gonna write down arrangement right here on the title, just to have it out there. So, arrangement. Okay, so what does it mean when you have an arrangement? An arrangement basically means having a bundle or a group of different sections, and in this context, for a song, and grouping them all together as one, so that it's one big healthy worm. I guess it looks like a worm, but just as a group, they're grouped together, so they're coherent basically. So I made this little graph to kind of help. Well, actually, I'm gonna talk about this little story now. Arrangement. So here's the thing that happened with me in arrangement. I used to struggle with arrangement a ton, like a ton, a ton. I would always write music and never finish. I'm sure you would know that. I know you know my history, but I would never finish a song, and I would just keep on starting new ideas and new ideas, and I'd never come back because I never really thought about arrangement that seriously. I would just, sorry for the yawn. Oh man, it's so early over here. Okay, so yeah, I would never like think about it from a composing aspect. Like, I would just think about the chords, the melody, wow, or maybe just the drop. But like, how would I continue that? Why is it that everyone can finish a song? What went on? What went wrong? So something happened a couple months ago where I had to take a break on music real quick to finish a bunch of art projects. And the funny thing was, whenever I like started an art project, I just kind of like knew when it was gonna end. Even if it didn't take a day, I just knew the ending already. Like I saw the ending. And this example is kind of like, like when you're like let's say you want to draw a dog. A dog pops up in your head, right? Like you see the picture of the dog. So like so you know what you're going to draw. So you draw a dog and it may not come off really great. It may look really really silly or it might not look that great, but the thing is you imagined the concept. Like you imagined the dog. And that dog was in your head and you were able to sketch it out at least from start to end. Now you completed your concept that you imagined. And now you're able to go back and maybe like finalize and do some cool stuff to it. You never know, just to give it that bigger shine. But when it came to music, I never saw that. I would just write until I thought I was gonna be done, but I never was done. And I was so upset. I was like, why is this that way? Like, why am I seeing music in that way? And I wanted to change that. At least I got a little desperate, or I wanted to figure out what else could I do. So if I was able to conceptualize a picture in my head and then draw it out, whether it's good or bad, I wanted to do the same thing for paper. I wanted to do the same thing for music. So what I did was I got a paper and I drew this. I drew this little line, went straight through, and I drew this other line. And then I wrote this. Alright, so what does this stand for? S E. This would mean starting the song, and this would mean at the end of the song. So, like, on paper, in a conceptual way, the idea means that we can start a song and we can end our song. No matter what, it can end. We can have an ending to our song. So, this is definitely possible. So, having the idea of I'm never going to finish a song ends here because you know conceptually that this is possible no matter what. Now, this isn't just the graph we're going to use. It doesn't end here. It doesn't end here for sure. But um, it's just like the basis, dude. It's to help you understand that you can do it. And I know you can do it. Start, end. All right. There goes the objective. I see it starting to an end. But let's get a little bit more detailed. So what I'm going to do here is do this. And I'm going to write this. Okay, so we have these little letters that I wrote down here. You may not know what they mean. I mean, you might know what I'm going for right now, but it's kind of like song structure. Song structure has many different like letters that started off. Like I'll explain. So I stands for intro, B stands for build up, D stands for drop, and O stands for outro. And different types of genres have different types of song structure terms. Like in singer songwriting, it's like verse, chorus. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but hopefully you are. They have like different terms. So there's verse, chorus, and even in classical music, there's interlude, there's exposition. There's cadences, stuff like that. Just different things that signify the type of genre you're in. This is kind of like an EDM, like intro, build up, build it up, and then the drop. And then for now, I'm just going to put an outro. So, in this idea that I have here, I basically conceptualized how I'm going to stitch the song together. So, this means that I know that out of everything I have to do for the song, there is a guaranteed objective of things I have to complete. So, I can start with the intro and I can start, or I can do the build up and then I can do the drop and then the outro. And the next thing you know, once you do all four of these, you're pretty much done. That's start to end. So like that's a really like good and clear way to help you to not get lost. Because because getting lost is a very, very common thing. You may be like so focused on one element, like you're just focusing on that build up, trying to get the right snare, and then next thing you know, you get burned out, and then you just forget that you have to do an intro and a drop and an outro, and then you just lose creativity, you lose motivation, so then you never finish it really. So that could be a huge problem. So just having a list out here kind of proves to you that you have an ending. You have a guaranteed ending. It's here for you. Another yawn. Shout out to the yawns. We'll do a yawn counter. No, we won't. But yeah. So we have an intro, we have a build up, we have a drop, we have an outro. And I know that there are other ways of like counting like the pacing of the song. Like I don't know if you've heard this before either, but there's like, oh, this part goes for 8 bars, this part goes for 4 bars. Like people usually like to count their songs like that. I've had other people talk to me about that. Like, oh, I just do 8 bars, 4 bars, and then 8 bars again. Well, thing is, I don't necessarily want you to do this type of method because yes, it does help with pacing, but it doesn't help with the song structure. And you don't know how long this is gonna work until you get lost. This is just a general idea. You cannot get lost if you have your general idea on paper, essentially in a way. I like to call this method right here bar pacing. I call it bar pacing. And you know what? It's actually not a bad method, but I would just, like I said, not recommended doing it solo. Not solo method at all. So what I would do is I would apply this to the arrangement graph rather than just doing it by itself. Yes, I call this the arrangement graph. This is what I'll be calling it, the arrangement graph. So instead of just doing it solo, how about I just go down here and go, all right, so 4 bars for the intro, 4 bars for the build up, 8 bars for the drop, 4 bars for the outro. So now I'm seeing the construction of the arrangement a lot clearer now. I'm seeing the overall product a lot clearer now. I know how long I have to make the intro. I know how long I have to make the build up, and I know that I want to make the drop long lasting. I want to make a bigger impact. So I'm going to make that 8 bars long. So that being said, I have the length and the idea here. The intro, 4 bars, build up, 4 bars. It's all there. It's even more clear to me now than it was before. And this is just to help me build detail while still looking at the bigger picture. I know these all break into something more detailed, but at least I can see the bigger picture. I know that if I complete the build up, I'll have 3 other sections left. That doesn't seem so bad. 3 out of 4 or 1 out of 4 complete. It's not bad at all. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead, and I have hiccups now. What's happening? Quentin, you cursed me. What am I doing? What's going on? I have hiccups. I got yawns. Okay, so I'm gonna select this as well. Oh my gosh, these hiccups. And I'm gonna put this right here. That's yawn 3. Yawn 3 for sure. Okay, so look at this over here. I wrote down a little extra. There's something going on, hanging out over here. So this might look familiar already now. We have formulas, right? The song formulas, like the intro, build up, drop, verse, anything. So we have intro, bridge, chorus, ending, more of a singer-songwriter approach. But take a look over here. I have like a little stem extending out, and this says melody change. The bridge has rhythm change. Chorus has chord change. It's like, what is going on here? Why am I writing this extra? Well, the biggest secret to understanding arrangement, the reasons why we have to add another section, like why do we have to call it bridge? Why can't it just be intro again? Why can't it all just be one thing? No, why do we have to break it up? That's the bigger question. Why are they in different sections? The main answer to that is because things have to change. Regardless, in order for a song to progress, something must change. It could be a minimal change, it could be a drastic change, but all you have to know is that things will change. And they have to change in order to make sense, in order to bring things together. So that's why I wrote a stem out here, and that's why I put down melody change, rhythm change, chord change. Okay, I just checked my recording program because I was so scared that I wasn't recording, but I am. Okay, so melody change, rhythm change, chord change. Something will change. Like the intro can start very smooth, and then the rhythm is changing. Oh, it's speeding up. Chorus, the chords change somehow, but it's still like relevant. It's in key. So that's just something that could go on. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply that concept right here to my arrangement graph. So check it, check it. Let's say I'm gonna do some 3 stems per section. So let's do the intro. So, or I guess, okay. So this is all you, by the way. I'm gonna pause right here. When I write music, it usually comes out to be like chords first, and then the melody, and then maybe I add a vocal to it. That's usually what happens. So here's what I'm gonna do for the build up, or usually it comes out to be a bridge. So I'll do bridge for me. But build up is like just building up. Bridge is just like something that connects you to the drop. So I usually start off with chords. Write that down there. Melody. And then vocals. These are 3 things that made this section. And so I'm pretty much done with the section, or at least I have the grander scale of the idea. Now let's say for the intro, I want to do just drums, melody, but no chords, or vox. So I don't want any of those. No drums, no melody. I mean drums, melody, but no chords and vox. So there goes my intro. For the drop, here's what I'm gonna do. All right, so big chords. I don't know what that means, but I'm just gonna make them bigger somehow. Big chords, melody, and fat drums are gonna come in for the drop because you want to make it the strongest part of the song. And then the outro is no drums, reverb, chords, and then just fade out. So I'm just breaking these up into different ideas so that I can conceptualize even harder and even stronger. Now I have like a guideline I want to make for so when I start off, it usually ends up being around the bridge. So I'm over here, and this is not the color I want. I wanted red. Okay, so I usually start off right here. Chords, melody, and vox. That's what I usually start off with. And I could start building into other sections or like expanding on this section. But like if I ever get lost, I'll just have an idea. Drop. I want big drums. I want a melody. I want bigger chords. So I got to layer more. And for the intro, maybe I should just have drums, melody, but no chords. Or for the outro, no drums, reverb chords, and like a fade out. So like if I finish this part, then I would know exactly what I would have to go in now. I wouldn't just have to go into intro and be like, well, what now? Well, shit. I mean, shoot. Shoot, what do I do now? But I would definitely know how I would want to do it since I have drums, melody, no chords, and vox. Big chords on the drop. All right, I'm going to do that. Fat drop. Oh, I put fat drop, but I meant to put fat drums. This is just to help guide and help you like know exactly what you're about to get into so that you can continue to work. So I'm just going to reiterate this. These are here to help you continue your flow of work. Usually if you hop in a section, you have to think really hard. You don't know exactly what you're going in for. These are here to help you just move faster, get the idea out faster. That's the main big importance. Just getting the idea out faster. If you get the idea out faster, then you're able to finish the song arrangement faster. And then you can go back into it and finish up the song and add more detail because you pretty much have everything you need to do. Just gotta clean it up a bit. Gotta add more special stuff, clean it up. That's simply that. So this may look very messy. Hopefully I have a cleaner layer. Can take a screenshot of this one. This one's pretty good. All right, so I want to do one last thing before we move on. So, like, what is music composed of? Literally, what is music composed of? It is nothing more than just chords. It is nothing more than a melody. It is nothing more than rhythm. It is nothing more than progression. Progression goes hand in hand with chords. Or rhythm progression or melody progression. That's it. If you have chords, if you have a melody, if you have rhythm, and then a progression to connect it all together, that's literally everything music is. 1, 2, 3, 4 things. 4 things is what music is comprised of in order to make music. It's that simple. Now, of course, you can expand into it and you can make it more detailed, but this is just to show you the biggest picture of all. There's nothing bigger than this. It does not get any simpler than this. Chords, melody, rhythm, and progression. Rhythm, okay, I mean, like, let's take a look at the second bar that I'm going to draw. All right, so we have, let's think about it. How can we apply this in a production aspect? So you could apply drums, synths, or instruments. You could have Vox. You could have samples. And once again, that's it. That's literally every single thing you need in order to make music. Every single thing that's possible. Or maybe I'm missing something, but mostly this is it. Like, you could do melody, connect that with Vox. Like, for example, these can go hand in hand. Now you have a progression of what? A progression of drums, a progression of vocal samples. That's just the things that keep things moving. You could have a Vox rhythm. You could have a drum rhythm, which is fairly used. You know, you got a drum beats, different drum beats, melody with synths, chord samples. You use samples to make chords. You never know. It's just all hand in hand. This is literally all it takes to write a song. Once you have all this listed down, that's just the bigger picture. There's nothing more detailed or more bigger picture than that. And so applying that to this, we'll use that soon. So I would say this is like your toolbox of things that you can select. This would be your toolbox. These two guys right here. That's all it takes to write the song. So let's go ahead, make a new layer. I'm gonna make something like this. I wish I could draw. Okay. So, does this look familiar? Do you see anything that's different? And if you don't, then you're absolutely correct, because nothing is different from what we've been over with this graph. I'm not going to label this the arrangement graph. I'm just going to label this as the section graph now. It's the exact same process. Now, this is just one section out of the whole arrangement, right? So we're just going to be working on something like right there. Right? Something right down there. This is what we're working on. This thing is the same exact concept that it is on a bigger scale. So for section graph, though, I'm going to change it up a bit. So for this, you said let's have kicks, let's have melody, let's have drums, oh no, sorry, let's have chords, and Vox for 8 bars. So this is more of like when you're looking at a section, because I know if you're looking at a bigger scale, you can get confused as well. Just look at it in a section view. And I would label this as our to-do list. And notice how all these things pretty much were adopted from our toolbox. Nothing more, nothing less. But now we actually have to solve it. If we're stuck in a section and you got the melody and the chords, just know that the rest is here for you to do. I got to do the vox. Once you finish the vox, check that out. All right, we'll just got to add the kicks, and then you have the kicks. Voila, your section is now complete. You literally just completed the section. You knocked everything out, and it's 8 bars long. You've done it. That is your section, and your section is complete. Now you have 3 more other sections to go to. That's how simple I want it to be for you. To be like a little to-do list. Have fun, express yourself, but just know that you can finish what you want if you just lay it down in a way. So, expressing the arrangement view again, one last time. I know it looks chaotic, just bear with me. So, expressing the arrangement view basically means like the reason why we have this, the reason why we have the I, the B, the D, the O, the reason why there are different sections like we talked about before is because these are all signifying change. The drop is gonna change. Big chords, fat drums. The intro changes. No chords, no vox. The outro changes. No drums, reverb, chords, and fades. It all changes. It all signifies a change. That's why they can be what they are essentially. And this is how I'm gonna make them change. And this is what I'm gonna do to signify that change. So you are changing the song in a good way. Or not in a good way, but like you are changing the song in a conceptual way on paper. Now you just have to apply it in production. But now since you have it on paper, it wouldn't be too difficult, I feel. So let's see what else we got. I'm going to go ahead and... Okay, so I'm going to talk about workflow and people not finishing ideas. Now here's a little story. I don't know what you want me to hold up. I'll just hold this up. That was too big. That one's yours. This one is pretty clean. This one is pretty clean. Okay, so there's a story of when I had to collab with a bunch of people from this record label, and we all had like a sleepover. It was very fun. It was a dream come true, yada yada. But we were all like saying, yes, we're going to make a song. It's going to be a cool disco 80s song. And we're going to do really good. And we're going to make a music video. This shouldn't take too long because there's like 20 of us. Or there's like 6 of us. So easy peasy. So what we did was basically we spent like 25 minutes per person. And after every 25 minutes, we would switch. Now, the thing is, it was going well. It was going really well until we hit this point where one guy got on, and like before we were writing melodies, we were writing chords, we were just doing cool stuff, having fun. Then this one guy got in, and he was like, "No, I have to finish these drums. I have to finish these drums. I have to EQ them so that they sound right." And we're like, "Okay, but we can do that later." He was like, "No, we gotta fix it right now, dude. It's really bugging me." So this guy would literally spent like 40 to an hour just working on the drums, and he didn't let us switch. He just kept on focusing on them, and it took us nowhere. And then we kind of lost our drive. We got back into it, and then we couldn't really write as excited as we were. That's because you were losing your drive. When you're working on music, you have energy. You want to keep that energy with you. Okay, so like if once you're inspired, once you feel like writing music, you expect to have that music out. Like you want it to come all the way out, but sometimes it doesn't meet your expectations. Sometimes you're coming in and you have all these ideas, and then next thing you know, you just come out with just like 10 seconds, or like you come out with just like a melody or chords, but not like the whole thing. And maybe that's because you lost your inspiration faster, but sometimes like if people are focusing on other things, it could really drain you. So I want you to push out of that routine. And I know like, okay, you can be like, yeah, I worked on this section and I'll just come back to it tomorrow. Well, it really depends. on how much your willpower is, how strong you are. Because tomorrow you may not be feeling the same way as you are today. You might be feeling completely different. Who knows? No one knows the future. So I think the brightest and best thing to do is just to express yourself as much as you can today so that you can get as much as you can of that expression tomorrow instead of just coming back tomorrow. Because the song you write today will never be the same song you thought of writing tomorrow, in a way. Your mind changes. So many things happen. It's not going to be the same. And it might be okay, but like a lot of times you come back and you just get bored of it. A lot of people just come back to the projects and it's not what they're feeling, so they're bored of it, so then they just move on to another project. And I know creating new things is good, but when you keep creating new things and not finishing anything, you'll never get anywhere. Finishing something is super important, and giving it the time to finish is also important. A lot of people, they're like, yeah, I finished a song, but I'm working on all these other songs too. That's like, it's not the healthiest side. Though I know you finish a song and it may come out really great, just know that you want to be in control of how you're writing your music and when you feel like you're going to finish a song. I don't want it to be like, oh, I'm randomly going to finish a song eventually. It just happens. It just comes out of feeling. No. When it comes to like writing music for yourself and being more understanding of yourself, you just want to keep on striving so that you can finish your own song. You just want to. This Facebook thing is okay. Okay. That's Facebook. Hey. Okay, so. Okay, that's the last message. Okay, anyways, you just want to make sure that you're done with everything and you understand how you can control your arrangement skills. Okay, so the I'm not inspired thing. Well, it's all up to you. It's all you. What even inspired you to write music from the start? What inspired you essentially? Was it other music? Was it like art? Was it going outside? Was it friendships? Was it good moments? What inspires you? Get in that inspirational mood to write music. You don't want to write music if you're like in a room filled with crying babies. That I don't think that'll inspire you. I don't think you'll be motivated to write music. If looking at a fireplace is what inspires you, is opening the window and seeing nature is what inspires you, then make sure you have some way or another to feel that type of inspiration when you're writing music. It all comes with like the comfortability and the inspiration. So just try to make sure that you have something that resonates with you in that sort of way. Also, um, the not being able to finish projects. I mean, this is what this whole lesson is for, the arrangement thing. I'm going to go ahead and look at the problems that you gave me during your consultation, and we're going to look over and see if there's anything worth looking for right now. All right, so it says some problematic things. Little time to be creative. School takes time away from creating. Lack of inspiration to create new songs. Uses remixes. Okay, so I think we kind of went over on struggling to find a way to expand on ideas. Just know that, or sorry, I say that a lot, but struggling to find a way to expand on ideas. Write it out on paper, man. Don't be afraid. Uh, don't be too lazy to do it because it might help you out. Jot down everything you need to do and try to attack everything as fast as possible so you can expand on it. And even if you don't, you have it on paper, so it's telling you what you want to do so that you don't feel lost in the mixing, in the writing, in the processing. So school takes a little time away from creating. Okay, that's fine. Create a little list that you have and do a little every day. As long as you have the bigger picture, you should be working on like that list should be working hand in hand with the arrangement graph that you wrote out. So like today you're gonna do the melody, the chords. Tomorrow I'm gonna do the drop. Maybe the day after I would still do the drop. I still got a checklist, so I gotta check it off, and then gotta keep going. Gotta keep going. Pace yourself. Don't force yourself, but pace yourself. I know. I understand. Like I said, to put it as much as you can. Yes, still put it as much as you can for the time that you have. I understand that people have different lives, little time. Just do as much as you can. Feel passionate about what you're doing. It's going to be great. Just don't give up on your idea. Don't give up on your idea until you know, like, you've seen the full potential. Little time to be creative. Well, like I said, time is still time regardless, Quentin. And if you have that little time to be creative, if you say this, like, 30 minutes is all I have to be creative. Then hell, dude, 30 minutes is what you get, and you will do as much as you can to be as creative as you can. There's no shame in that. There's no problem in that, as long as you felt good creating within that time. Like as long as you spent your time the right way, instead of like, oh, I'm going in just to fix this one little ditty or etc. etc. Just do something. Do something new. Do something different. Change the arrangement. That will show better progress, and you'll be much happier. I feel. Um, so that pretty much wraps it up for arrangement. Uh, that's you can hit me up and we can talk about it afterwards. But I think I went over all the tropes of the arrangement for you, or learning how to write arrangements and learning how to finish songs and expanding on ideas. This has been a thing that a lot of people actually have been troubled with, and I'm just happy that I was able to finally get this lesson to you out. And I hope you enjoyed the lesson, dude. I had a great time talking about it, and it's actually one of my favorite lessons to go over. So I mean, I hope your 2 week break was great. I hope you're doing okay. Love you, dude. Lots of love. Woo! Art Assist week 4. That's it. Quinton.